Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jeannie and I've got another fun and easy Halloween mani for you. I recently got an order in from Soul Dips and she did include a couple extra dips including Where's My Candy and Smarties, and as soon as I saw Where's My Candy I felt inspired to do this fun mani because it is such a unique glitter. So it's got like colorful hex glitters in there, and it's also got like, I don't really know if they're bar glitters because they're really thicker than what I consider a bar glitter, but they're textured and they're green and there's some purple and they're just so fun. So we're going to do some fun nail art with this one. I'll also be using a couple glow colors because why not let it glow? I'll be starting with my lightest color, which is Jawbreaker, and I always want to make sure you give it a good stir because glow pigments are heavier, they tend to settle, so when you have glow powders you always want to make sure you're mixing them really well to make sure you're getting a good glow. I'll be using my Makartt Dippies as well for my dip liquids. So I'm going to do Jawbreaker on my middle finger, and this is the finger where I'm going to do my nail art. So I just wanted a plain, simple, light colored base for my nail art, and I thought Jawbreaker was perfect because not only does it glow, it's actually like a sheer milky white color, so it's just a really great color for a background. I'm going to do 2 layers of Jawbreaker, cap and clear and activate before I move on to the next color, but I'm only going to show you one just to save on time to get to the nail art. Now what you see me here doing is pouring over, and that's because Soul's jars are packed full and my nails are long, so I wouldn't be able to dip my whole nail in without making an entire mess. So I thought it'd just be easier to pour over. I'm activating my nail before I move on to Smarties because this is a sheer milky white and Smarties is such a bright, vibrant color. I actually don't want to stain my white. So same thing though, I want to give Smarties a really good stir because it is a glow powder and I want to get the most amount of glow. Smarties is just such a beautiful color and I feel like it could be used year-round and not just at Halloween. But same thing for this color, I'm going to pour over so I don't make a mess because the jars are so full. But for such a bright and vibrant color like this as well, pouring over is better because you'll get less staining when you pour over than if you were to dip your finger into the jar. I don't always show it, but I always clean up my cuticle line with my cuticle cleanup tool after every dip just because I haven't perfected the perfect cuticle line using just my dip liquid, so I always have to use something extra just to clean it up a bit. Whether you're just really careful with your liquids or you're cleaning up afterwards, you always want to make sure that you don't have any dip left over on your skin or your cuticles, your sidewalls, because that will cause lifting. I'm going to do 2 total dips of Smarties, but I'm only going to show you one. I'll cap and clear, activate, and then we'll get into our glitter. I have to say, Where's My Candy is a bit of an unconventional glitter, and I wasn't sure about it, but when I opened the jar and saw it in person, pictures just do not do it justice. This video probably is not doing it justice. It is so beautiful and it is so fun. I mean, if you want something outside of the box, definitely check out this glitter. Even though this glitter had a lot of chunky pieces in it, it was still really easy to work with. So once I pour over, I'll clean up my cuticle line. And then if there are any glitters that I want to move around, I can move them around with my cuticle pusher tool while the dip base is still wet. And then I'm going to press down on any glitters that may be sticking up. But luckily with this dip, I really didn't have any glitters sticking up. It was really easy to work with. I mean, some chunky glitters are a pain. I mean, they're worth it. I still love chunky glitters, but some are more work than others. And luckily this one was an easy one. So I've been rambling for a while now, so I'm going to let you finish watching me apply this glitter. I'm going to cap and clear, activate, file and buff everything off camera, and then we'll be back for some nail art. went ahead and top coated all my nails with my Makartt Dippies Dip Top Coat, which I'll leave the link below in the description for these liquids. But I didn't do my middle finger because that's the one we're going to do a design on. So I'm going to use my iGel Beauty Gel Art Liner in the color Black is Black to hopefully draw what looks like a cauldron. And let me tell you, I was like, this is simple. And it was a lot harder than I thought it would be to draw a cauldron. So I'm just removing the excess gel from the brush because you definitely don't want too much gel. You just want a thin layer. And then I'm going to attempt to draw like, I guess the rim, like the top rim of the cauldron, which it's not really, so I guess it's really like an oval is what I'm going to attempt to draw. It's going to be covered in glitter anyway, so I'm not going to try to make it too perfect, but I want to at least get that shape down so that it'll hopefully be a little proportional to the rest of the cauldron, like the bowl of the cauldron. So clearly I know nothing about cauldrons and I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out how to describe this to you, but hopefully you're following what I'm saying, at least somewhat. So before I did this, I actually practiced on a swatch stick just to get an idea for what I wanted to do. And I have to say it's a lot easier on a swatch stick because I can move it to any angle I need, right? So if I needed to get upside down, I could turn the swatch stick upside down. But when you're doing it on a hand, you're limited, right? Your wrist can only move so much. On top of that, I'm trying to stay in frame on camera, so I am struggling trying to get this, even just this rim of the cauldron drawn, just because I'm trying to keep my right hand anchored to keep it stable, but I'm having a difficult time like trying to find the right angle. So I know it looks a little bit crazy right now. It doesn't look right, but we'll cover it up with glitter, so it'll be okay. Just trust the process. I guess technically I didn't need to draw the rim because I'm going to cover it with glitter, but I'm a very visual person, so I kind of needed that guide on where I wanted the glitter to be and the proportion of the body of the cauldron, so I kind of needed that there for me, but really I could have just, I guess, drawn the body and filled in with the glitter, but you know, hindsight. So I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup with my brush and just a little bit of alcohol. You don't want the brush too wet because the gel is still wet. So I'm just cleaning up a little bit. And I will mention though that I did, after I filed and buffed, I actually activated this nail as well. And the reason I did that is because if you leave your dip unactivated, your gel will kind of sink into the crevices because your acrylic is porous. So when I activate it, it actually sits on top instead because it hardens that acrylic dip powder. So then that way my gel isn't sinking in, so it's easier to clean up if I need to. And you're going to see that here in a second or so because I absolutely hate the way this body is looking. I think it's way out of proportion. So I'm just going to clean that off with my brush and a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And the great thing is because it's a white dip powder and I'm using a black gel, it actually didn't stain because I was able to activate my dip powder beforehand. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit off frame, but I still wanted to show you. You can still kind of see where it's getting removed completely, so I wanted to leave that in. now that I've got my cauldron drawn, I've got to cook something in my cauldron, right? So I'm going to take some of my dip base and apply it to that top area in the opening of my cauldron, and I'm going to lay my finger down into the glitter so I can pick up some of the glitters. So the glitters are really going to be like my stew that's cooking in my cauldron. I kind of think of the hex glitters as maybe like the bubbles in the stew. So anyway, I'm going to move around the glitters because I don't want it too bulky, so I just want to move them around. If there's anything loose, I'm just going to remove it, and we can do some glitter placement if that creates a blank spot, but want everything to stay nice and flat on the nail. I'm going to pat the glitters down one more time just to make sure they're laying flat, and then I'll dust off any of the excess with my dust brush. Now, a little bit of the finer glitters did actually stick to my gel paint, so I'm just taking the sharp end of my cuticle cleanup tool here and just a very gentle scrape. Like, you're not seeing any scratches in there, but I'm just gently scraping off that glitter because it's not really stuck. So I did decide, I kind of envisioned like my cauldron, my stew, whatever it is in there, kind of bubbling over. So I'm just going to apply a little bit extra dip base and start hand placing glitters, because I definitely want some of those, I don't know if they're bar glitters, ribbon glitters, but they're very unique. So I want some of those in there as well. So I'm just kind of placing them where I want them. And if I'm being completely honest, my cauldron is a little wonky looking, so I figure a little extra glitter to cover it up, maybe not a bad thing. And at this point, I decide I kind of want my bubbles to bubble up. So I just apply a little more dip base to my cuticle area. And I'm just placing a few glitters around just to make it a little more fun. Once I've got everything the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and cap everything in clear just so my surface is smooth, because I do have that layer of gel as well as the extra added glitters. So I'm going to apply a layer of dip base and pour over my clear dip powder, and that's just because I'm running low and I don't have enough to dip in my longer nails. You'll see me pressing down my clear powder. I do that a lot just so that it's absorbing well into the base, as well as getting into the crevices of those glitters. So I've activated, and now I'm just going to give it a gentle buff. I went ahead and top coated my nail, and now I'm going to finish off my mani with my Candy Skincare Cuticle Candi. And this is my sub bag scent Apple of My Eye, which smells delicious. I love apple scented things. And here is the finished look. What do you think? I actually really loved the way it turned out. It wasn't perfect by any means, but Glitter fixes everything. So anywhere where I thought it was just a little bit off, I just covered up with glitter and it was fine. And look at how unique and beautiful this glitter is. I'm serious, don't sleep on it. It will surprise you when you see it in person. It is just so beautiful. And I thought it made a really fun Halloween mani. So I'm trying to do a lot of different things. I don't know, for some reason I've been really into doing my own like hand-drawn nail art lately. So if you have any suggestions, drop them down below. I'd love to hear them. Let me show you my favorite part, the glow. Now, I was indoors and it was at night when I did this mani, so I did charge these in my UV LED lamp for like, I don't know, it was like 15 to 30 seconds, and these glow so bright. It is so fun. So let me show you that. How fun is this? It's like I have little glow sticks on my fingers and you can actually see the cauldron through the glow. I absolutely had so much fun with this one. I'm curious, are you team glow or is it a pass for you? I know not everyone loves it, but that kind of makes me sad. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this and it helps YouTube recommend me to others. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.